games. So there is a DLC for this game, and that DLC is called Game of Winter, where they introduce a new faction, which is the Undead. Previously, the two factions were the Demons and the Horde. Not to be confused with WoW's Horde, though it is similar. There were like a lot of orcs and goblins and other things. So we're going to be starting a Game of Winter, which I believe is a spoof of Game of Thrones at the same time.
After the complete destruction of King's Ending, the last remaining Alliance troops gathered at the wall in the north. Barthus Snow had just taken command of the North Watch.
Barthus Snow?
The fiery priestess Meltisand arrived. A dangerous mission stood before young Barthus. One that would change his life forever.
Barthus Snow. You know nothing, Barthus Snow. Look at this. The unimportant sea. And there's like a Hydra in it. Or like a Loch Ness Monster or something.
Once upon a time, there was a kingdom full of flowers and rainbows that had been overrun by evil. Krotos and the rest of his ridiculous troops fell victim to the abominable evil and the pitiful remnants.
Is that Geralt? Is that a fat Geralt?
Before the Horde and the demons. The capital of King's Ending had fallen and was now, more or less, an outhouse for evil's fiends. But a hero emerged from the chaos to courageously confront the evil. Meltisand, the Red Priestess, who used her pyromaniacal tendencies for the benefit of the last do-gooders.
Clearly a good person, I can tell.
The remaining members of the Alliance rallied under her banner, for while the night was dark and full of terrors, there was nothing a nice little fire couldn't take care of.
I watched...
The last few do-gooders found
I saw like 2 seasons of Game of Thrones. I do remember that.
On the wall of ice that had for eons separated the Alliance from the wild and snowy.
Penguin with a freaking Skyrim hat.
Here stood the troops of the North Watch, a sworn brotherhood who kept watch over the North and, to alleviate the boredom, teased each other through the creation of strange rules, such as a celibate lifestyle.
To alleviate boredom.
This story is about the leader of the North Watch, a young hero by the name of Barthus Snow. Barthus had recently lost his brother and had become the captain of the North Watch in his place. Now he went out to track down a missing patrol. Beyond the wall in the north, what awaited him there? This.
He's like, go back to serious. The camera's looking at me. Act serious again. This is a blend of every single medieval story in the last 10 years. I love it. I love it. Someone really didn't like Game of Thrones. I watched like 2 seasons of Game of Thrones. I got to the part where the lady gave birth to a demon cloud and it destroyed a city. And I was just like, this is getting really weird. And I stepped out.
Not cold, Lady Meltisand.
No. The fire god warms me inside. Are you a virgin, Barthus?
No, milady. I'm a Sagittarius. Born in November.
Oh my, you know nothing, Barthus Snow.
Now that we better strengthen this wall, winter is coming.
For once in your life, you're right, boy. Winter is coming, that much is certain.
No, I'm a Sagittarius.
Winter is coming? Have these two jokers taken a look around here lately? There's snow everywhere. And there has been for as long as anyone here can remember. How much more winter can you get? Oh yes, sorry. We wanted to tell a story here, didn't we? Barthus Snow and the fiery priestess Meltisand had gathered the few remaining Alliance troops at the base of the wall in the north of the Empire. But alas, even here did danger threaten, For, as everyone here knew, winter was coming.
Even if we only wish to somehow survive the winter, we will need more gold to buy supplies. Lead your men to the old gold mine to the north and capture it. And since you're going that far north anyway, try to find your Uncle Banjo as well. He's been on the road far too long.
Certainly, milady.
And so Barthus Snow
Still laughing at
dutifully strode north. He had not an inkling of the horrors that awaited him there.
Dude, are you a virgin? I'm just like, what? This is PG. And he's like, no, I'm a Sagittarius. Stupid. Alright, this is supposed to be the Undead campaign. So I'm guessing this guy's gonna find the Undead, or he's gonna become
Barthus
Undead.
Snow reached a heavy gate in the wall of eternal ice. Behind it stretched the endless wastes of the wild north. What would he find there? Well, I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you.
Open the gate, men.
With heavy tread, the leader of the North Watch stomped off into a sea of snow and ice.
Burn the corpses, men! The night is dark and full of terrors. And my marshmallows won't toast themselves, you know.
Gross.
The cursed forest. We'll have to cut it back again soon.
Oh, does the land become
North Watch
good when
ensures
he
that
shit
the
goes
forest
through?
never grows closer than half a mile to the wall. Otherwise, you always end up with those ugly green spots on the brickwork. Oh, and enemies could also sneak up under cover of the trees. Bloodstains. Maybe Uncle Banjo is injured.
Barthus Snow reached the point where his Uncle Banjo was last seen. Instead of a warm welcome,
Wolves.
all he found was icy silence. Whoever had camped here was now dead. Something had cruelly savaged the bodies before the wolves fell upon the remains. Barthus took out his anger on the innocent animals, just as any good hero slavering for experience points would.
Is this a scripted death? Oh, potion.
The last wolves.
I was like, that's a lot of damage.
Barthus sent a raven to the North Watch headquarters. Soon, reinforcements would arrive to build a new camp here. Yet Barthus didn't want to give up hope and continued to look for his Uncle Banjo.
Blood. Again. I should follow this trail of blood.
Thoughts on the innovative mount gameplay from WoW? WoW, Blizzard has been copying stuff from other games for years and then just polishing it until people forget that the other game came first. Onyxia was a copy of EverQuest Nefarian. The mail system they copied from EverQuest 2. The entire StarCraft franchise is a parody of Warhammer. Like, it's disappointing, but it's not surprising. And I don't really think anything's going to change.
Barthus arrived at the gold mine. According to legend, a Dutchman once got lost here. However, Barthus didn't
A
believe
Dutchman
that
got
word,
lost here.
mostly because there wasn't a single Dutchman in this world, but instead hordes of orcs and the like, who currently occupied the gold mine. He made ready to drive the vermin out.
Oh man, I do not have a lot of health to work with here. Oh gosh, I took 45 damage like after the fact. What the heck? Dude, are you serious with this fight? Oh my gosh. This dude's like a max level enemy. Okay, my health's starting to come back now. I've been out of combat, despite the fact that this dude's chasing me. I'm out of combat. Alright. It's not copying, it's inspiration. Wait, no, hold on. I would say being like, oh, a mail system is good and copying that's a good change, you know? The StarCraft franchise. The Terrans are the Imperium of Man. The Tyranids became the Zerg. The Eldar became the Protoss. It's literally a copy of Warhammer. That's not inspiration. That's dirty. Like, the entire StarCraft franchise is just a blatant copy of Warhammer because they were going to do a Warhammer game and then it got canceled, so they just like ran with it and made StarCraft or something like that. So like I don't think that's just like, oh, they're taking inspiration from another game. No, they basically copied the whole thing. Oh no, please win.
The gold mine
Oh
was
my
freed
god.
from the Horde.
This is so early. This is
Now,
difficult.
The North Watch would have the necessary income to buy enough supplies for the winter. North of the gold mine, the cursed
Hi, Leo.
forest suddenly pulled back to reveal a path. What kind of witchcraft was at work here?
Barthus! Barthus! Look for me. Beyond the trees, north. Find your destiny.
Him again? Where does that wizard always come from? From the moon? And of course, Barthus followed his enticing voice. Typical.
More blood. I wonder where this trail will lead.
Dude, this is a lot of blood.
This trail of blood just goes on and on and on. Just how much blood can one man lose anyway?
Thank you.
Barthus reached a large
Oh,
area wreathed in fist-sized snowflakes. Suddenly, the dire straits rushed at him, playing soothing rock music. Oh, right, wait a minute. They wrote dire wolves. That's probably somewhat less enjoyable.
Rock music. I'm guessing by the context that Dire Straits is like the name of a band or something. Oh, I did not see this ability. Oh, okay. I had another skill here I wasn't using. What is this? Sword waving? Rapidly strike the target and inflict massive damage, temporarily
This
stunning the
dire
enemy
wolf
while
really
licking
put
damn cool.
Barthus in some dire straits. If only he'd brought his six-blade knife on this walk of life. At times like this, he missed his brothers in arms. Yet he still hadn't found his uncle and his banjo. I think I'm starting to mix things up here.
Follow the path. The north. Come to the north.
There's a difference between inspiration, taking the exact same thing and changing the names, right? Yeah. Like, I'm just getting into the Warhammer franchise. I did not know until recently how bad it was. But it's like, there's so many monsters in Warhammer, and then they're also in Warcraft, or, what was it? The Fell Hunter, the little demon dog thing that warlocks summon in Warcraft. It looks identical to there's a creature in Warhammer called the Chimera. It looks the same. Like, exactly the same. The Tyranids are the Zerg. They look almost the same. Like the Hydralisk looks almost one for one to a Tyranid. Yeah, the Terran Marines are the Imperium of Man Marines. They look almost the same, except they just took the skulls off the armor, stuff like that. Like, I had no idea, like, how close it was.
As Barthus climbed the icy hill, Undead suddenly rose from the frozen ground. We weren't expecting that, were you?
Yep, yeah, I actually was.
Fine. Seeing as how you're so well prepared, let's see you kill these undead, who, in fact, are already dead. Ha!
Yeah, see, this would have been much easier if I had noticed the sword waving skill. That's much, much easier than what I was doing before. People are gonna praise the new WoW mounts as original. Actually, I think that
Barthus had reached the end.
because you know we have such a high level of communication these days, and people love to use it to complain and point fingers and cancel culture and stuff like that with Twitter and things like that. Like, it was actually really quick that even Asmongold, who, you know, one of the like most popular WoW players, he on his stream watched a video that it was like a copy of Guild Wars 2. And then he even straight up said, he's like, you know what? That just means WoW's going back to their roots, copying things and polishing them to make them better. And they so like they recognize that they know that what it's from. They know what it's from.
Before him lay naught but frozen mountains and hills. Would he ever find his banjo? Wait a minute, what's all this about again?
At last you arrive, chosen one. Enter and behold thy fate.
PC Gamer.
No sooner
Yeah.
had our friend with the ragged dress style spoken these momentous words than the ground opened up to reveal a path to an ancient dungeon to which Barthus felt magically drawn.
Yeah, there's an writer for PC Gamer named Phil Savage, and I remember his name because Savage. And he plays Guild Wars 2. It's very clear from the writing he plays Guild Wars 2, and he wrote an article about how they copied the mounts. Do you think Warhammer did not steal from other stuff as well? Box, I'm sure it did, but it had a lot less to draw from. Warhammer started in like the 1980s, but like the Eldar are basically space elves. Did it maybe get inspiration of elves from like Tolkien or something? Sure. Yeah, I'm sure it did. But you know, again, we were talking about the difference between inspiration and blatant copying. That was it. That's all I was saying. I mean, heck, I'm not saying Guild Wars 2 isn't free of it either. The fishing system Guild Wars 2 just added is pretty much a copy of like Stardew Valley's fishing system. Now, maybe you could say it was an inspiration because it's just a fishing system, but you know, yeah, they saw that and they said, hey, let's go with that.
An ancient, mysterious cave. What might it conceal? The voice was urgent and wanted him to continue onward.
Follow me.
Oh, I'll save the sword waving.
With the pointy end.
You stick him with the pointy end.
Come to me.
What do you think, guys? You think we're gonna die and become like the undead leader or something?
As Barthus touched the crystal, pure energy coursed through him, and an ancient power awoke. Yet in that second, all life drained from the leader of the North Watch.
Continue.
Barthus had awakened something in his quest, the corrupting evil.
Oh.
It gathered its mindless undead army together for a march to the south. The only thing in its way were the North Watch and the wall of ice.
Well, we just changed factions real quick.
Barthus crossed the cave and slowly approached the strangely glowing crystal. He had no idea as to what it might be. Like any good hero in a dungeon, he just couldn't keep his greedy little fingers to himself and touched the crystal. As he did, a brilliant light filled the room. When the light faded again, Barthus lay badly wounded on the ground. With his last breath, he stammered, "For the war," and gave up his life. However, his actions had set something free. Like many other heroes before him, he had inadvertently released another great evil into the world. The corrupting evil. It had long rested, unaware that two of its siblings were already awake and fighting for supremacy. Its servants awoke with it. The Undead.
She's holding a teddy bear.
Now they rose from their graves. Skeletons, zombies, ghouls, frights, Nosferatu, all following their vile master's plans. As well as they could. Undead aren't exactly known for their
Is that an undead unicorn?
and are therefore sometimes referred to as the Mindless Army. They didn't forget Barthus's corpse. The corrupting evil's creatures carried his corpse forth and laid it to its final rest. Then they turned their attention to the living. The North Watch. The wall would fall, and the Mindless Army would head south. To where the corrupting evil's siblings were already waiting.
Was that supposed to be Frodo? If we want to talk about Zergs and Tyranids that want to be nitpicky, Xenomorphs actually first. I'm not familiar with Xenomorphs. The thing is, so again, I'm not saying that Warhammer didn't get inspiration from something else. I'm just saying that StarCraft is way too close. It's like uncomfortably close.
And so the ultimate evil awoke. Oh, wait a minute. The ultimate evil? Oh no, that was the main game. Yesterday's news. And so the corrupting evil awoke. The all-too-curious Barthus Snow had released it from its crystal prison. It felt its brothers to the south, and it would meet them very soon. But first, there was unfinished business to take care of.
Oh, Xenomorphs for the
icy wall
alien.
to the
Okay,
south
yeah,
protected
I
the
saw
realms
Alien.
of the
It was
Alliance.
too long ago.
It had to be destroyed so that the mindless army could march. The huge ice wall was insurmountable, but an old gold mine would play an important role in its destruction. The corrupting evil had to gain control of that mine. Before that could happen, however, a mighty army would have to be raised, which of course required a thriving dungeon. Immediately, the corrupting evil set out to build a dungeon and raise an army of combat-capable creatures. How does one build a dungeon? The corrupting evil already knew that, of course. It had no need of extravagant tutorials, but immediately went into action. The gold-grubbing evil had built a treasury. This would help amass treasures that would make even the rich canisters turn green with envy.
Bumbledork, Bone Lunk, Numclot, and Cheesebone. Those are our workers. Raise a bloodsucker who then flies around in your dungeon looking pretty vicious.
A bloodsucker had risen. These fly-by-night creatures were cowardly and didn't even do any work, but when paired with an undead guard, they could make an insidious combination.
Final resting place. Undead like it cozy, and their undead status and lifestyle leaves them feeling somewhat dirty. They need a place to relax and wash. A retreat aptly called the final resting place. Here they can relax from the rigors of undead existence, splash around a bit, and unfortunately also make a real mess if you're forgotten to clean up. Remember, zombies love their pools the way an orc loves its beer. Okay. Where's the... So there's the dungeon entrance. We'll build it here and see what happens. Production. Mana Tomb. Your ghosts work at this location. They haunt the place and produce mana in the process. I think that has to be built around
The Mana Queen
these.
Evil had built a mana tomb. Once it had hired a fright, the sweet little thing could haunt the place and produce mana.
Oh, it's the girl with the teddy bear. That makes me think of, what was her name? Annie the Dark Child.
It didn't take long before the corrupting evil had erected a final resting place. A wise decision, for his undead were already craving a place where they could rest their weary bones.
Okay, so the Frights are kind of like the Nagas from when we played like the Horde. Okay. Starship Trooper to the book Alien the movie. Yeah, but the Tyranids and the Zerg, although, you know, maybe they got inspiration from xenomorphs and stuff like that, like, or I should say the Tyranids are different enough from the xenomorphs that I can barely make the connection. But the Zerg are just like, okay, that's like the same thing. In my opinion. Okay, what's the next thing I need to build? Alchemy Lab. Zealous skeletons will diligently mix potions and see what happens. Don't let the liquids bother you, because the special mixture produced here is the so-called universal expanding foam, which can be used to effortlessly install traps and doors. Sounds strange, but true. Okay. You see Starship Troopers? Yes, I did. So what does it take to make... One needs a laboratory and one needs an alchemy lab. Shout out to Cezon. What's up, Cezon? I'm gonna try to clear this out here to make the alchemy lab. Diablo Immortal is grading made on PC. Also, look at Warhammer 40k many years into the game. Go back and look at Road Trader. You see where it is taken from. Is also Starship Troopers, the book, not the movie. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I saw the movie.
Payday.
I did not read the book. In your unusual coin guide, how many can I expect per day? I would have to double check, Cezon. I think it was like 5 to 10. It was like a small handful. She's chilling in like the coffin sauna thing. Alright, I think I need to undo this order so that they start mining this out, because they're not working on that. I'm making legendary runes avoid those expensive crap. Yeah. There we go. They're finally getting to work on it. Build an alchemy lab, build a lab, 2 of 10 creatures awakened. Is that just how many extra creatures I just made? Oh, is there anything I can research at the mana tombs? Let me see. Max pop points, not enough mana. Spells. Army of the Dead. Okay. Probably just save up more mana. And get another fright for now.